Oh, hey, that Dowsing Dagger gives us lethal. Kithron can have the plants, because Kithron's about to die. Waves of Aggression. Let's do it again. KO's gonna play an Evacuation.
Today on Commander Replay, we kick off Boros month with the Kalemni Voltron build and try to find out how powerful is Kalemni. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, there's two great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below.
Welcome back, everyone. So I'm playing all the remaining Boros commanders, and today we're looking at Kalemni, Disciple of Iroas, one that I've sort of played on the channel, but I'll talk about it a little bit more in a minute. Let's take a look at this opener. I actually like this a lot. It's got lands, it's got a piece of ramp, and it's got Rogue's Gloves for card draw, plus Jeska's Will, so this seems good to me. We'll keep that. Hopefully Kalemni doesn't get blown out. So I have played Kalemni on the channel in the past. Someone sent me a Kalemni Voltron deck that was pretty good. The reason that I'm redoing this one is because in that game, Kalemni was shot almost immediately, and I never recast it in the game, because like an Elishnorn came down later, and other more powerful things showed up, so I just never had a reason to recast Kalemni. So I want to get a better look at like Kalemni itself, and I made a couple card choices in the deck. Things that I left out just to not completely subtract the attention from Kalemni. Like, I had a Rayav in here, and like, if you put a Rayav down on turn 2, you may never cast Kalemni, so skipped a few things like that, but for the most part, this deck's going to be pretty tight. Play this Flamekin Village, no elementals. I do like having that Flamekin Village. If we do have to recast Kalemni later in the game, haste is such a big deal, and at the last minute, I actually added a few more haste equipment into the deck, because like, the haste count of like 1 didn't seem good enough, so I'm like, we need more than that. So Soul Ring for the Kaalia opponent. Yeah, those are good. Anticipate. It's an Ani DeFranco song. Anyways, so this morning I posted a poll on both my YouTube and on my Patreon, asking if everyone wanted to see me play the 12 or so remaining Boros commanders that I've never played, and the overwhelming majority of people want to see that. So we're going to be playing a lot of Boros commanders over the next month. I don't know the exact order that the videos will release in. This is the one that I'm filming first, but at the start of the project there were about 12. A couple of them only exist in paper, so we'll probably skip those ones on video, but I will have to build the paper versions of the deck. But yeah, I was just blown away by the amount of people that actually want to see this. It's been something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I've actually had the spreadsheet built of all the Boros commanders, which ones I've played, and how I rank them, and a few other things. So I started this project probably about a year ago, and kind of put it on the shelf for a while. Just after running into a few really bad Boros commanders, I kind of put this on the back burner for a bit, focused on some other stuff. So expedition map for opponent. And anyway, the plan at the end of this thing is to do a tier ranking of all the Boros commanders. I just want to be able to say that I've played all of them before I do that. Now, there's a bunch of caveats here. By my count, there are 49 Boros commanders, not including partners, with the exception of Akiri and Bruce, since that partner pair is just kind of obvious. When you get into the Commander Legends partners, things get out of control very quickly, and it's hard to deal with all the variables that kind of go into that. I don't know, maybe that's something we'll look at in the future with all the different possibilities that you can do there, but Waves of Aggression is how you win the game, so things are looking good. Let's play this Plains. The one thing I was worried about was whether I had enough extra combats in the deck. Currently there are 2. There should probably be a 3rd, has generally been my experience with non-Aurelia Voltron decks. You want 3 extra combats in them. So we get a turn 3 Kalemni. Another strange thing about this deck is that I'm actually running a ton of 2-mana rocks, which is not something that I typically do. I usually run a couple, but this one we've got way more. Like, I'm running Liquid Metal Torque, which I never run, though I probably should. Mind Stone, haven't run a lot of decks in a while, and a few others, so we want to get Kalemni out there quick. That is the name of the game. Let's see, someone played a Dowsing Dagger, that'd be Chaotix, and they gave some plants over to Kithron, which is unfortunate, because that makes it harder for us to, oh god, that's a Smothering Tithe. That's gonna have to get hit with the Dismantling Wave. The question is, I really want to get the Rogue's Gloves going. Maybe we can Jeska's Will. Yeah, we could probably Jeska's Will and have enough mana to go Dismantling Wave, Rogue's Gloves. I'm really hoping KO doesn't play a creature. KO does not play a creature. There's a Smothering Tithe. Yeah, not paying. Yeah, I mean, we came to play today, so play a mountain. This is probably going to look kind of mean. Oh, that is 2 islands, though. 2 islands is scary. Target Kithron, because he's got 6 cards in hand. Jeska's Will. What do we hit? Oh, God, those are cards. Oh, Blasphemous Act is interesting. No, Blasphemous Act is going to be too much. Well, we can't get the Stone Hero Giant, which is disappointing, but we can get a Hearthenholm. Hearthenholm is pretty good. Hearthenholm gets us past the plants, too. What's Kithron playing? OG, Exquisite Blade? I don't even know that one. Well, I guess we're on the Hearthenholm then. And we will think about the Rogue's Gloves another day. Opponent's going to opt. Yep. Yeah, so with Kalemni having double strike, naturally, just swords dot deck. You can jam all of them in here because they are all really good when you have double strike. Light and Shadow, Body Mind, War and Peace are the ones that like you might be like, also Truth and Justice, I guess. But you can definitely run them and they will be effective. They just may be a little less good than some other things, depending on situation in the game. But yeah, let's just let's equip the old Hearthenholm. Oh, that leaves us with 3 mana left. Oh, that's just beautiful. Let's cast this Dismantling Wave, Soul Ring, Smothering Tithe, and how do I feel about that Strixhaven Stadium? We'll go Dousing Dagger, shut off everyone's mana. See if this eats a counter. Man, Jeska's Will. We would not be able to make a play like this early in a game without something like the KO got the counter. He's got a Rift. I mean, that's annoying, but I'm happy that this Dismantling Wave is going through because we need to get the Smothering Tithe out of here. Getting rid of the Soul Ring from the Kaalia will bring them down to speed also, which I can appreciate. But yeah, getting bounced is kind of rough. Goes 2 mana mode on the Rift. Yeah, I can't say I blame him. That's a lot of damage, and I run away with value and ramp, which no one wants. So Sean going on the attack, I'm sure. Yeah, that hits us. I think we are the threat, or at least we were. Right now, we don't technically have anything in play. Soon, this Kaalia is going to be the threat. And that is Sean piloting Kaalia of the Vast. He has said on numerous occasions that his goal with this deck is to hold back a little bit. He's not trying to be as mean as possible. No Master of Cruelties. Land Destruction is really good with Kaalia. Not doing that sort of stuff, generally, unless he changed his list. And then I might be in for a rude awakening, but in the past. In the middle, we've got Kithron, who has returned to playing Magic Online, so everyone welcome him back. OG the Exquisite Blade, one that I haven't seen yet. This is out of Baldur's Gate. Enters the battlefield, you gain 2 and scry 2. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, exile up to 1 target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. So, value blank stuff. Oh, another thing too, with this whole series of decks that I've been playing, I've been avoiding infinite combos in the deck, because any commander can lay down Feast and Famine, Aggravated Assault, and you're probably going to win if that happens. So, to me, that didn't seem like a good measure of how good is the commander itself. That's sort of just a question of like how easily can you assemble your combo. So I tried to avoid that. I will point out that we have like a almost infinite in our hand with well, we have 2/3 of it. So Waves of Aggression and Rogue's Gloves. Rogue's Gloves gives you the card draw. If we find a Feast and Famine, that would actually create a like, it's not completely infinite, but it's enough combats to kill the table usually. I've had that come up with Mask of Memory in the past, but play this mountain right here. Play Kalemni. Unfortunately, don't have the 3rd mana to leave up this Teferi's, so I think we just put the sword back on and try to avoid any interaction from our opponents. Hope for the best. We should take a read of our commander, by the way. Kalemni, Disciple of Iroas, is a 4-mana 3/3 with double strike and vigilance. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value 5 or greater, you get an experience counter. Kalemni gets +1/+1 for each experience counter you have. I've talked about Kalemni a lot in the past. I don't talk about it as much anymore just because they've printed a lot of good Boros commanders since then. There are, what did I say earlier? 49 Boros commanders, and they have really printed a lot of them in the last like 3 or 4 years, and it has been pretty cool. Anyway, in the very early crop of Boros commanders, Kalemni was, well, you just didn't have a lot of other options, and Kalemni was one of the decent Voltron commanders that were available, going back, 6 to 10 years. And what's frustrating about Kalemni is that it's not even that it's a bad card. Like, you can actually kill someone pretty efficiently with double strike and vigilance. It's the fact that the second line of text doesn't really have any synergy with the third line of text, and that just makes it incredibly frustrating and like a pretty poor design. Okay, cool, you cast a creature with value 5 or greater, and then Kalemni gets a little bigger. Like, And what makes it really stand out is comparing it to any of the other experience counter commanders. Marin's insane. Mizzix is pretty insane. Daxos is decent. I've lost to Daxos. The green-blue one can do some stuff too. Definitely lost to that deck a few times. Yeah, Kalemni just, the design was poor, and if you ask me, I would say they probably didn't playtest the product all that much. Because any amount of playtesting would show you that, like, oh, hey, Marin's kinda busted, and Kalemni doesn't make any sense. Like, it's not even that it's bad, like, bad cards exist, it's just that it doesn't make sense. So anyway, that's my gripe on Kalemni, but all that to say, like, you can actually kill people with it decently well if you strap a bunch of swords to it, so. But it always just feels like you're giving something up because you're not able to take advantage of all the abilities. On a fun side note, I was planning to do another Kalemni video, built around the 5 CMC or greater thing, and I actually built several deck lists for it, because... So the first one I did was just, like, generically good Boros creatures at 5 or greater, and then I'm like, this is the most boring deck list ever. This is literally every creature that I play in every other deck. So I just looked at it and I'm like, this is doing nothing to get me excited. And those planes. Play the planes. Please tell me we're on 7 mana. We are on 7 mana, which means we can go Rogue's Gloves, leave up to Fairy's Protection. That is a really good place to be. But yeah, so I tried the generic version. I'm like, this is incredibly boring and doesn't look exciting at all to play. Looks like every other deck I've ever built with a less exciting commander piloting it. So then I tried a Giants build of Kalemni, and I built it. I haven't actually played it yet, but having also played Giant Tribal a few times in the past, I'm like, this isn't that much more exciting. It still feels about the same. There's some cool new Giants out of like Kaldheim and stuff, but so with that being the case, I haven't actually filmed either of those lists yet because I'm just like, doesn't look exciting. Just give me something new, unique, and that's not what Kalemni offers you. What Kalemni does offer is a whole bunch of damage into KO's face, and if this goes through, that will be 2 lands and 2 card draws. That is Value City. That is hit number 1. Also, he loses the counter on Strixhaven Stadium. There's the old Hearth and Home. Get-a-Planes. Rogue's Gloves. I don't use Rogue's Gloves in a lot of decks. It is a really good budget Fire and Ice. If you're just looking for the card draw from Fire and Ice, Rogue's Gloves is a good budget impersonator of that. It doesn't give you all the other stuff that Fire and Ice does, but Fire and Ice is also an expensive card in paper, so there's that. But I have used it in the past. As Boros card draw gets better, I've been using it less and less, but when you have built-in Double Strike, I think it's still worth running. So we draw 2. There's a Thaumatic Compass. Wow, we can drop that in and flip that over. Oh, this is going to be beautiful. We're down to 4 basics in our deck. We'll want to keep that in mind. Play the Thaumatic Compass. Wow. We're on fire. Things are going really well. And Compass is going to flip. And Compass gives us some protection from what this Kaalia is going to be doing. At least a little bit, anyway. There's a 7/7 Doom Whisperer over there. Yeah, these are all getting bigger, aren't they? Yeah, those are all coming into our face. Let's see what he drops in with Kaalia. I missed the Kaalia trigger last turn. It was the Doom Whisperer, by the way. And with all the light... Oop, that's a Burning Rune Demon. That's bad because it's a tutor. Unfortunately, we need +1 power on Kalemni to kill Sean in a single turn with the Waves of Aggression. I wonder if we can find that somewhere. Oh yeah, they're all coming our way. Opponent's gonna Cloud Shift their commander. That's fine. We are going to fog the... which one did we fog, actually? We're gonna fog the Archangel of Thune, because it has lifelink, and these other ones don't have lifelink. And Archangel of Thune pumps the rest of the team up, and is a white creature, which means we can attack past it. So, yeah, that all makes sense. This ain't gonna tickle, though. That's 16 to the face. That'll put us to 21. Do have a few ways to gain some life in the deck. Luxodon Warhammer, probably being the most prominent. Wouldn't be terrible to find that. Yeah, we're down to 21. Gilded Drake is not a card I want to see. Oh god, Gilded Drake Blink seems awful. Gonna take the Archangel of Thune. How about that? How about that? Not having to burn Art to Fairies right here. Love it. Although, sadly, they get the Gilded Drake. I guess we could key to the city. Oh, what? Opponent's gonna Homeward Path. Are they just trying to get a blocker? Why wouldn't they try our commander, though? I'm very confused. Reflector Mage. Sure, I'm not gonna love this. Enters battlefield. Return target creature to an opponent. We got pro-white. We are good. Opponent retakes the thing. Bouncing the Gilded Drake. Wow, that seems nasty. That seems nasty. Kithron says the Homeward Path play worked better in his head. Okay, that's fair. That is fair. Sometimes you got to try things out one time before you kind of get a feel on what's going on. And, you know, it's a new commander, so I get it. I make plenty of mistakes like that. Opponent's going to poke with 2. Oh, God. Soon Quan, Lord of Wu. That's being piloted by Chaotix 2075, by the way. Creatures you control have horsemanship, essentially unblockable. I don't think anyone else at the table is running horsemanship, so we'll just call it unblockable. He's going to crew the Omen Keel, which he got in earlier. Omen Keel going over to Sean. I told Sean I can help him get his creatures back if he stops attacking us in the air. The way to get his creatures back is just by killing Kithron, which I don't know that we'll be able to do this turn, but we can certainly put a hurting on and get things set up for next turn. Also, if we find a random +1/+1 somewhere, you know, we might be able to get there. It does make me think that the math with Kalemni and the swords means probably want a Cathedral of War in the deck, which don't run in a lot of decks, but this is probably the place. Sean's going to surveil. Strixhaven and the Omen Keel trigger. Archfiend of Despair into the graveyard. Yeah, that one's pretty crazy. Opponents can't gain life. That's no good for where we're at. Definitely want to gain some life. Also, double the damage. Or double life loss, rather. Hits 2 lands with the Omen Keel. That's a cool little card. I should try that out. There's a Talisman. Not the most exciting, but we'll hold that land for now. I think we're just going straight to the face of Kithron and see where that gets us. Expecting to draw some cards, so we'll kind of play everything in the second main. Into Kithron we go. Sword of Hearthenholm, Rogue's Gloves. Draw with the gloves. We've got Fleet Feather Sandals. Definitely good, and that's a source of haste. That's also ooh, that's flying blocking is what that is. Flying blocking is relevant to our current cause. We're going to need a plains right here, just because with that plains and the plains in our hand, will get us to plains number 7, should a Maria show up. But after this, we're going to get a mountain. There's a Dowsing Dagger. We'll get a mountain. Go to the end step. Oh, hey, that Dowsing Dagger gives us lethal. Okie dokie. Play this plains. Play this Dowsing Dagger. Kithron can have the plants, because Kithron's about to die. Equip the Dowsing Dagger. And what I do like right here is that we also have enough to leave up the Teferi's protection while doing all this. Waves of Aggression. Let's do it again. KO's gonna play an Evacuation. Well, I guess we Teferi's protect then. We don't have that kind of time to try to rebuild and do all that stuff. I mean, we might have enough mana to actually do it and let it go, but I'd rather not take that chance. Told Sean, see, I got your creature back. Although, you know, if he drops everything down again and then Gilded Drake comes back, then he may not be in a significantly better place. We phase out. Waves of Aggression resolves, but nothing to attack with. It was interesting that KO waited for the first combat trigger to go off. With that much value, knowing that he might Evacuation anyway, you probably want to stop us from getting value there. Burning Rune Demon coming back. Signet to the graveyard. I think he has an Avacyn in hand. Yep, watch out for that. That'll get you killed. Kithron has 11 cards in hand, so he's probably going to be looking at some discard right here. Also means that he'll probably tap out trying to cast as many things that he can, which is also good for us. Kind of just means that we have to worry about KO. KO's playing mono blue, has a lot of mana, is down to 2 cards, which is good. But, you know, if those 2 cards... He's shown a lot of interaction already. I'm hoping it's not just mass wipe tribal. Gilded Drake coming back. Oh no, this one's a black creature. That's not helpful to us. We do not have a black sword currently. I guess we might have to key to the city. We can discard the Talisman. Takes the Burning Rune Demon. Ifara back to play. And that taps out the mana. And he's still got 9 cards, so he's going to have to discard. KO recasts his commander. 1 card in hand. Hope it's not interaction. It's a sludge monster. Oh, people are going to die. Enters the battlefield or attacks, put a slime counter on up to 1 other target creature. That's going to be this Burning Rune Demon. Sludge Monster, kind of OP. Been wrecked by this thing a few times. It's pretty nasty. So this becomes a 2/2. Cruise the Omen Keel. Swing into Kithron. KO gets more lands to play from exile. So opponents are tapped out. KO's got no cards. I'm loving this. Back to our turn. We phase back in. There's a Thran Dynamo. Let us play the key to the city. Make sure I read this thing right. Discard a card up to 1 target creature can't be blocked this turn. All right. We'll put that on our commander. Discarding the Talisman. Swing into Kithron. Hearthenholm. Dowsing Dagger. Rogue's Gloves. We could use some decent draws. Haneware Battlements. Not really it. Transform the Dowsing Dagger. Hearthenholm. Get a mountain. Do it again! Kithron goes down. 22 commander damage. Sword of Hearthenholm. Oh no, the thing went to exile. That's weird. I assumed they would have gotten it back. Did I just click no to the thing? Oh, that's a Mask of Memory. Oh, you want to know what we can do? You want to know what we can do? Is we can retrace a Waves of Aggression, discarding a Hainware Battlements. Ooh, with the Mask of Memory. Yeah, that's going to be a little combo-y. I mean, I guess we don't have unlimited mana, though, so there's that. Play the Mask of Memory. Equip the Mask of Memory. We could go Fleet Feather and kill KO. No, we still can't be blocked. Yeah, we can't be blocked. Yeah, we're good. We are good. This won't kill KO. It'll put him to 20 commander damage and very low life. We hit. Hearth and Home. I think we're out. Rose Gloves. Mask of Memory. Probably should have went the other order with those. We'll get it right next time. Draw 2. We need to discard 1. Savines, probably? Yeah, Savines. It's got flashback. Rose Gloves. Enlightened Tutor. Oh, my. Yep, no lands to search for. A bunch more things trigger. Hearth and Home. Mask in the middle this time. Rose Gloves. Cast an Enlightened Tutor. I mean, Sunforger seems like a good idea, right? We just need to make sure we don't die to anything is really where we're at. Draw the Sunforger. Mask of Memory. Do we need a Hushbringer? I don't... It's a blocker. I like what Sunhome does. The Sunhome is also another land that we can retrace the thing with. Yeah, discard the Hushbringer. Thoughts? I mean, we could just Waves and do it again. The problem is then we don't have a lot of mana left up. And if Sean finds some magical play to do 21... actually... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we have exactly 8. Okay. So play this land, Sunforger. Equip Sunforger. And then we'll just sit on that protection and keep our stuff alive. Bajuka Bog is not the card I wanted to see. What do we have to... Teferi's Protection is the one that protects you against that. Double check this list. Make sure there isn't something that randomly protects us. It's permanent. Faith Shield's gone. Yeah, I think that's just going to happen. Oh, Waves of Aggression down. At least we got some work in with it. God, I love Waves of Aggression. It is actually going to be harder for us to finish the game now. And this is where I was saying you probably want 3 extra combats instead of 2. Signet into play. Sean doesn't recast anything else. I wonder what he's got. KO's going to Stolen Identity our Hearth and Home. It's going to make a token copy of the Hearth and Home. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Oh, God. Oh, no. Well, we have this. I guess we have the Sunforger. So what he can do is blink the Sludge Monster, target Kalemni with that. Gonna equip the sword to the commander, both into our face. Oh God, he gets the trigger on attack. Oh God. Yep, that is the thing that happens. Activate Sunforger. So we can go Blacksmith Skill. Yeah, I think we probably just go Blacksmith Skill, and then block it. Hexproof and indestructible. Perfect. Oh God. Oh, we have Pro White. Oh God. Yep, forgot about that. I mean, it's still our commander. Oh, Horsemanship, right. We can't block. Lovely. I mean, it's still a 4/4. It could be a lot worse. Opponent's gonna Stolen Identity. Yeah, actually, you know what we can do too? We can blink it with the Hearth and Home, and that will solve our issues. Returns, blinks the commander, so it is untapped. There's a Stolen Identity trigger. Copying Kalemni this time. Equipping a sword. Yep. Key to the City. Yeah, we should pay, right? We got all kinds of mana. Pay 2. Draw a card. Now there's the Emeria. A little late on the Emeria. There's a Sun Titan. We'll hold on to that until we actually have something to get with it. Play the Emeria. Play the Fleet Feather Sandals. Equip the Fleet Feather Sandals. Equip the Sunforger. Do I want to do that? No. Just because I'm thinking about how we're going to use all of our mana. Like, Sunforger does give us more protection, which is good. But, oh God, we're down to 8. Swing into KO. We're going to have to re-equip all this stuff after we blink it, and I want to leave mana up for that. Hearth and Home. Yes, blink our commander. Mask of Memory in the middle, Rose Gloves on top. Hammer of Nazan is a good card. Draw 2 with Mask. Discard the Starstorm. No lands. Starstorm, Comeuppance is a nice piece of protection here. I got to start running this more. I've been cutting it from decks to do other things, and I've been missing it sorely. This thing is so good. Re-equip the Sunforger. Get the Fleet Feather Sandals. We'll get the Sandals for the flying blocking, and the sword for the protection. And then we'll sit on Comeuppance and a few other little things just to make sure we don't die. And we'll pass like that. But yeah, next turn, we have one-shot lethal with the Luxodon Warhammer. Kaalia coming back to play. Does he have a Settle the Wreckage? I wonder. That's 4 mana. I mean, you gotta find out, right? Generous gift. Play the hammer. free equip on the hammer. Oh, we could have discarded the Sun Titan and then just got it back with the thing. That's still, it's a little risky. I like to get immediate value off Sun Titan when I play it. Luxodon Warhammer, free equip. Equip the gloves and the mask. Pray it's not settle. Go to combat. Deflecting Palm would be an issue also. Let's see what he's got. Here it comes. Comeuppance. So it'll end up doing let me read this thing again. Holy crap, the text. Prevent all damage that will be dealt to you and planeswalkers you control by sources you don't control. If damage from a creature is prevented this way, Comeuppance deals that much damage to that creature. We have pro-white, so we don't need to worry about that. If damage from a non-creature source is prevented, okay, yeah, we don't need to worry about that part. Yeah, okay. Comeuppance is the less problematic of the options. We do lose all that sweet lifelink damage, though. Opponent asked if I had a skull crack. I do not. I guess this is a good time to get the Thran Dynamo. Pass like that. Kaalia coming in. I don't know if he realizes that we have flying. There is a lot of text on this card right now. If it's I guess if it's Avacyn, it doesn't even matter, although we gain a ton of life. It is indeed Avacyn, so it won't die when we block, but when we block, we will gain a crap ton of life. We'll untap the commander. Then we gain 28 life and go back to 36. Valakut Awakening, digging for answers, sure. He said SWAT in hand too. They shuffle with this? On the bottom, yep. He's gonna get some mana with this Dockside Extortionist. Where's that Hushbringer at? That get exiled? Yeah, got exiled. That's disappointing. 10 treasures, yeah, that's pretty good. If he's got a rally in his bones, Dockside is how he's gonna get there. Animate Dead on the Archfiend of Despair. At least we got that one big life gain hit in. 36 is a reasonably safe number. Moonveil Regent. Oh, this card looks interesting. Whenever you cast a spell, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw a card for each of that spell's colors. When it dies, X damage to any target, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. Very interesting. In this case, a flying blocker. Doom Whisperer back to play. That'll trigger the Moonveil. He's gonna surveil for a while. Oh, you wanna know what's interesting? He could, whenever you cast a... No, it's a cast, it's not an ETB, I was gonna say. There's an order in which he may have been able to surveil into the card that he's going to draw, which would be interesting. We're at the end step right here. What I'm actually going to do, just because it's kind of fun and I'm going to do it, we're going to discard the Sun Titan. This is a play I haven't really seen before, so, you know. In a deck that's not all that interesting, doing something you haven't done before keeps it interesting for yourself. So we're going to activate the Key to the City, discard the Sun Titan, use the Mary to bring back the Sun Titan, which is what makes it cool, and then we'll also draw with the Key to the City. And if we draw a land, we can discard the land and then get it back with the Sun Titan. That's a deflecting SWAT. I actually don't think that's going to work, because it still has to be a legal target, and there's only one legal target. He could have swatted a Key to the City, though, and that would actually buy him a turn. Use the ability. It's a land. How about that? Yep, still on Sun Titan. Let us activate Key to the City. Discard the land. Sun Titan. Explaining how the ruling works. Sun Titan comes in, brings the Arid Mesa back. And that's a Halvar. More double strike. It might be a Sword of the... If he doesn't just die right here, it might go Sword of the Realms. He's gonna surveil. Yeah, that's actually huge with the deflecting SWAT. So, because if he deflecting SWATs the Key to the City, we attack in, he blocks, everything's got indestructible. I don't know how much gets through, I haven't done the math, but probably still a bit. We have 28 power. So, I mean, I guess we could activate Sunforger to get rid of Avacyn if we needed to. So anyway, we'd have 28 power, and that's 9, that's 15, 16, 24, 26. I think he has 26 toughness. So we'd actually soak up most of that damage, and which means, because we're not gaining the life, that we'd still be at 36, and assuming that we didn't shoot his Avacyn, he'd actually be able to put a pretty big attack back into us, and if he found an extra combat, there might be a way through, although I guess we have Spires, but it would give him an opening, create some sort of opportunity. Gonna continue to surveil. We're just gonna auto the surveils. Yeah, just burning through everything. Yep. He's down to 10. Passes by a Winds of Abandon. Doesn't help him in this moment. He says, wouldn't have saved me. Curious, how so? Down to 2. And he just kills himself. Doesn't let us have the satisfaction. That's fine. So, getting there with Kalemni. So my overall thoughts were this. One, I would say we had an above average hand. I don't want to call it Christmas Land, but it was definitely good. We ran into Hearth and Home, which is insane in double strike decks. Halvar, Kalemni, Rayav, any of that stuff. Getting 2 lands a turn is crazy. which we did. The value from the card draw was also really good. Hitting that early Jeska's Will is what allowed us to really kind of go wild. Dismantling Wave on the Smothering Tithe to prevent things from getting crazy. So our early game shaped up really well, which led us into a good late game. We had every basic in our deck. But even with all of those good things going on, like the rate at which we were actually killing our opponents was still a little slow. Like it wasn't blazing fast. So after playing Kalemni a few times and building some of the other lists, I have a good understanding of why you don't see Kalemni very much. Number one, it doesn't really offer very much that's interesting to do, right? Like, you could take this 99 and run it for just about any Boros Voltron commander, and you're going to have pretty good success with it. So the main problem that you really run into is that it's just not very interesting to do, right? Like when you build a commander, you want like, oh, I never get to play this card. Let's do something cool with this card, right? Kalemni does not offer you that. What it offers you is damage and value with swords, which you can get in a lot of commanders in a lot of different ways. And being 4 mana, it is a little bit slow to get going. There was a decent amount of interaction this game. We got bounced twice, and we got sludge monstered, and then our graveyard also got exiled. So decent game in terms of interaction from our opponents. And obviously that definitely slows the deck down. I think Kalemni's biggest problem is that it comes out pretty early into the game, and just by having 1 sword on it looks very threatening. And it's certainly the thing that can spiral if you let it go unchecked. So the problem is that it eats that removal early, and then things just get kind of awkward. And you need to have the mana to be able to kind of rebuild around that and recast and do all the stuff. So early in the game, getting tangled up with interaction is definitely a thing. And just the way this commander presents itself and the timing at which it does it does mean that you are probably going to be eating interaction from your opponents. So that in combination with you just don't get to make very many interesting card choices with this commander means that, yeah, I get why not that many people play Kalemni. All that being said, if you're just like, I want raw power, it's decent. It's not the best Voltron commander out there, but it's definitely decent, and you can kill opponents with it. So anyway, those are my thoughts on Kalemni. Decent game from our opponents. They all had some cool stuff going. Just that Boros Voltron does kill you the second you run out of interaction, so I do think it would have been interesting at the end there with Sean. He said that Comeuppance and Generous Gift with the Sunforger activation wouldn't save us. I'd be very curious to see that. If for some reason he didn't die right there, I mean, we could Sunforger a lot of things off of his board. So anyway, I don't know. Would have been interesting. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel, vote on which decks I play next, or if you want to get some good games of Spell Table, be sure to check out my Patreon at the link below.